Welcome everyone to our social media local prospecting formula module 1. Congratulations first and foremost on deciding to not only invest in your business but invest in you. That is a big deal as I mentioned on every training that we do, and just give yourself a pat on the back because you're someone, obviously if you're here, you're very serious about your business and you're sick and tired of being where you're at, whatever that means to you, and you're ready to take it to the next level. So I thought that we would just offer module 1 here right away so you can get started and really work your business to the fullest and take it to that level that you aim to get to. This is one of my favorite modules of the course. Each and every one, in my opinion, is worth the investment on its own because each and every one is going to give you a very important aspect to building a local team. And if you perfect each and every one, you will be a master. If you perfect just one of these modules and just become a master at that, you will definitely build a large team. So I am super passionate about this course, super passionate about sharing this with you because it's just been working like gangbusters for us, and I'm really excited. So let's dive into module 1. Now, keep in mind, if you do have questions, you can head to my fan page. It's just facebook.com/Jessica Higdon page. Feel free to post your questions on there, and let's get started. So, big question for you. Have you ever sat in an event? And just think about this for a second. Have you ever sat in an event and you've watched people cross the stage at your company and you constantly wondered, okay, why can they do it and I can't? Has that ever happened to you? It definitely has happened to us before, especially when we first got started. And there were people that we felt were way less qualified than we were, yet they were getting recognized and we weren't, and they were crossing the stage and they were making more money. And it was like, okay, if they can do it, then why haven't we figured out the secret? Ever feel that way? I'm sure a lot of you, that's probably one of the reasons you invested in this training is because you want to get ahead of, your competition. But at the same time, you're wondering, okay, what's going on there? Why are they doing better than I am? Well, what we've discovered, and this course is all about what we've learned big time in the past year to not only build a huge business, but to build a huge walk away business, right? So something that you can take off for months at a time and it still be running like a well-oiled machine. That's the goal here. So what we found is that this business is all about creating leadership and you yourself learning to become a leader and learn to lead. Now ask yourself this, when you think about being a leader, number one, do you even think about yourself being a leader? Number two, when you do think about that, or you think about the responsibility and the meetings and presenting, do you get a little scared? Do you feel a little uncomfortable? Does your heart start beating a little faster? Do you feel like you just can't do it, or you're not meant to do it, or you don't feel like you're a leader right now? Well, I have news for you. This training is all about getting past that and learning to lead and create more leaders. So that's really what we're going to talk about here. And in order to do that, of course, it's very easy to do that if you start locally and build a local team and teach others to do the same. And like I've mentioned before, that's really what we've learned big time from a lot of big networkers, and I'm talking people that have hundreds of thousands of people in their team, is that local and then expanding from there is the key to a huge business. Now, if it does make you uncomfortable, don't worry, because we're going to tackle all of those issues that you may be having. But just recognize that. Recognize that you do get a little uncomfortable and it's not natural for you. But just keep in mind, it's not natural for everyone. And those people that you see walking the stage, they learned how to become that leader. And you yourself today can be a leader and start acting like one. And again, we're going to cover that. So what we're going to cover tonight is attracting local professionals. So setting up your profile and branding to really make sure that people, when they come to your stuff, when they come to your page or your profile, it's set up in the right manner so that you don't turn anybody away. Okay. Then we're going to talk about how to find a prospect and actually go after them in your local area. So that's very, very exciting. And not just any prospect. We're going to talk about leadership. Some scripts to set the immediate credibility with them and get them to look at your business. Very exciting stuff here. Just from these scripts alone, we've had many people recruit a lot of great people and start some local momentum. So that's really exciting. So make sure that you have a pen and paper out and you're ready to take some notes because I definitely have some good stuff in here for you. How to get past the Facebook rules and regulations so you don't get banned. Obviously, this is a big one. You know, a lot of people, they go out and they're really excited, which is great, but they do things the wrong way. They start posting pitchy stuff. They start just randomly messaging a million people and saying the same thing. Not good, right? So I'm going to teach you how to get around all of that so you can talk to as many people as you want. And then what not to do. So how to avoid making mistakes that are costing you leaders, which a lot of times is just as important as what to do, right? So by the end of this training, I want you to feel as if, even if it's just module 1, by the end of this, my goal for you is to feel as if you could literally be dropped, you fly in a helicopter and be dropped, parachuted in, right, to any city whatsoever in the U.S., in the world, and be able to feel like, okay, I can build this thing here. I can literally go into any market and I can build it. And I'm very excited for that. Lastly, I don't mention on here, but I am going to give you an assignment before our next webinar, so stay tuned for that. So let's talk about your profile. I would pull it up next to this webinar and just kind of look at what you got. Okay, first and foremost, this is definitely not mandatory. However, I highly suggest it that you have some kind of professional photos. This is just a screenshot of my profile right here. And people, a lot of people, especially if you've taken my courses before, you've heard me talk about this. A lot of people think that you have to, the branding isn't really that important, and your sole focus right now is getting in front of as many people as you possibly can. Well, your sole focus definitely should be getting sales. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that does mean you have to go through the numbers. But my whole thing is, and this is what I think added immediate credibility when I first got started. My whole thought process is, why do that? Why not be able to get a higher percentage, right? Why not convert more while you're going through the numbers so it takes you less time to get more results? So I always preface to people that even if you feel like this isn't an important part or you can just skip over it, do not do that. Listen to everything about your setup. As trivial as any of these steps may seem, they are super duper important, okay? So I definitely suggest professional photos. If you have some, there's no need to go spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to get them done. But if you're investing in your business long term, I will tell you they do help with instant credibility. You will get a better response. That's just how people are. Or at least some awesome pictures of you, okay? Even if they're not professional, just some great pictures. We have nowadays technology on some of the phones and cameras you get the highest quality photos you can possibly do. So as long as you're capturing, kind of your personality and having fun with it, that's great. I don't recommend like just a random headshot in a suit, okay? That's way overdone. But just something like this, like I have, or a great landscape, or whatever you can do. Again, why not increase your conversions as you're going through these numbers? And this really makes people feel, okay, this is somebody that I like to work with. It's this attention to detail that your competition doesn't pay attention to. Keep that in mind. So this is what is really going to separate you from a lot of the other leaders out there. Use your social media attractor factor checklist. Okay, so I go through, you got this as a bonus with your course. I go through a lot of different stages of the profile setup and fan page setup, and I tell you what you should and should not have. Now, some of it is a little more advanced. Some of it is very simple. Do whatever you can and you feel like won't take away a lot of your time. But again, this attention to detail is very important. So do this for a second, and I would definitely pause this recording, write this down, do this exercise with me real quick. think about who you want to attract, who your ideal prospect would be. This is something I do with our mastermind group, our clients and our team, is I have them really vision out who exactly they would love to work with. And also think about the top leaders in your company. Or in your program, whatever you're selling, think about the top people in that program. What are the characteristics that they have? Now, granted, there's probably a lot of different characteristics, right? They may come from all different backgrounds, all different whatever, but think about one in particular and act like you're having a conversation, one that really stands out to you that you'd want to work with, and act like you're having a conversation with that one person. Okay, what types of things would you offer to them for help? So what types of things would they really want to see from you in your posts and your status updates? How would they talk? What questions would they ask you about? What answers should you be providing? These are the types of things, and you want to think about it as if you're talking to one person. That's where I feel a lot of people don't understand this whole marketing thing on social media is they're like, okay, buy now and best product ever and join my team at. And they're talking to the masses versus talking to one person. And if you can really hone in on that, you'll see more people respond to you and pay attention to what you're doing. And not only more people, but the right people that you really want to talk to. So think about that when you're setting up your profile, when you're doing your posts and things like that. And I give you a template in your social media Attractor Factor checklist to go off of. So just make sure you follow that when you're posting each and every day. Okay. And that's very simple. I would print that out. I would keep it by your computer and do it every day. It doesn't take long, and that'll really help you not only for people to see your stuff, but to get more interaction and things on your stuff so you get more leads. Also, as part of a bonus, you have Mike Hobbs, who is an amazing trainer, amazing marketer. He's got a team of 40,000 people. You have his How to Sell Through Facebook video. And Facebook video isn't just about selling, it's about connecting with your audience and connecting with your people. So if you want to set up a profile, I highly suggest going through that as well, so you can definitely make that happen and people to pay attention to you. Okay? So again, write down who that person is, what kind of things they think about real quick. You may want to pause this, but I'm gonna jump ahead here. So inspiration and pictures are extremely important. People want to see creativity. They want to be inspired. They're going to their jobs every day. They're miserable. They want to see cool stuff that you're doing. So make sure you show that. So every time, now recognition is key. And we're going to talk about this, but every time you sign someone up using this strategy, and you will start to sign people up, especially if you follow this to a T, I promise you. So every time you sign someone local up, what you want to do is you want to post a picture and say, welcome, Jennifer, a top realtor or whatever their profession is from your area, right? Let's say, well, I'm from Naples. So from Naples, Florida to the team, excited to have you on board. Post a picture of the two of you together. This will add a lot of curiosity. And remember, the most important thing here, obviously, is their profession and that they're from your hometown. And this will add a lot of credibility to what you're already doing. So here's another thing that's very crucial. And again, we're going to talk about recognition more so in modules 3 and 4, which is extremely important. But I wanted to touch on it here so you have an idea of how to move forward before we get there. So in your About section, you want to make sure, here's the biggest thing, and in your social media Attractor Factor checklist, you do have a list of all the things that you need to have in your About section, but make sure people have a way to get a hold of you. That's the most important thing, whether that's a website, it says web-based. I need a spell check on here. You don't have to be a genius to do network marketing, right? Make sure that's a website, a phone, an email, some way to get a hold of you so that if they stumble across your stuff, they can actually reach out to you, right? And make sure you have your current city listed. Seems very simple, but you would be amazed at how many people go through this training and nobody knows where they live. You know, they lived in Alabama, now they live in Florida. They want to get people in Florida, but all the people that they're talking to are like, well, aren't you in Alabama? So make sure you have your current city listed. That's also going to have more people that are local to you reach out to you, and that enables you to cast a wider net and get around the Facebook rules. So just make sure to check that. Not a big deal, but important to have. So here's what I'd like to see on your statuses. Inspirational quotes. Okay, definitely, for sure. People love those. I look at even some of my really good friends and things, and I look at their posts and I'm thinking, wow, just look at what you're writing and think about who would respond to that. If it's negative and you're always complaining or whatever, then think about who's going to respond to that. Do you think they're the most qualified people? Definitely not. So you want to make sure you're lifting people up versus bringing them down. Pictures with leaders. Now, here is something that I don't see nearly enough people taking advantage of. You should be attending every event you possibly can and taking pictures with leaders, with important people that add credibility to you. Okay? So make sure you are doing that all the time, because what that's going to do is people are going to see your stuff and they're going to say, wow, you know, I didn't know that the person was friends with that. And it's going to attract people that are friends with those leaders to you as well. Again, adds instant credibility. Pictures at events, like I said. Here's the thing, guys. The number one thing that people love to see when they're looking to join a company is, am I going to be supported? Is there going to be trainings? Am I going to be supported in the right way? Am I joining the right team? You know, product and comp plan and company, you know, founders and everything, that's all important. That's all great stuff. But what's really going to get people to take action is when they know they can do it. And they know they can do it when you're showing that you have a system that you can plug into and you have amazing training. So when you can post about all the trainings you're attending, when you jump on webinars, post that. When you jump on conference calls, you know, just saying something simple like, so cool that I'm being taught exactly how to make money from home. You know, those types of things, that'll get people thinking, okay, I want to work from home. Killer stuff there. So make sure that you're focusing on that and people know that you have support. One common theme that you will see in a lot of the messages going back and forth that I do is I'm always trying to provide social proof. And when you go through your other bonus, which is the 12 conversation reviews, that is a killer bonus. I'm going to mention that later in the training today, but when you go through that, you'll see a common theme of social proof, meaning if I meet a nurse and she's talking about how she's really unhappy, I'm going to talk about how, you know, oh, you know what, we have a nurse out of South Carolina and she actually became the #1 income earner in our company and all she did was this, this, and this. That's social proof. Or, you know what, we have about 5 nurses on the team right now that just went full-time working from home. Is that something that interests you at all? Those types of things which are, you know, going to add, okay, this is a story of my life and it's someone that's done well in my situation. Now I believe I can do it. Hope that makes sense. But you'll see that in the conversation reviews. Updates on activity. Take people on a journey with you. Right? So when you are going to meet someone at Starbucks, take a picture and say, going to Starbucks to meet an all-star to show them, you know, my opportunity or whatever. Take them on the journey with you. Or when you're making calls, you know, a lot of times I'll post, hey, made 30 calls today and sent out 5 presentations. This is a piece of cake or whatever. Or, you know, hashtag winning, whatever you want to do there. But people love to know that, you know, you're working and that you're real. So just be real with them and take them along the journey. One little side note that I'll add, because I think it's a cool story. Because probably a lot of you on here haven't seen my first videos. Now I hope that you're not going to go look them up. You might, I don't know, but they were pretty darn bad. My first videos that I tried to do to market my business were terrible. And so it came to a point, I mean, I had a picture taped above my computer of what I was going to say, a script, and I was looking up and then looking back at the camera and looking up and then looking back at the camera because I was trying to say word for word what I had taped above my computer. I mean, they were just awful. And after about I think it was 23 takes exactly, and I'm not joking, 23 takes of trying to do this one small 3-minute video, I just was like, you know what? This is crazy. I'm just going to be who I am. And that's what people want to see, right? That's what they want to see on social media. So my very first videos years ago, this is probably 5 or 6 years ago, I told people, I said, listen, I am scared to death of video. And in fact, I've been trying to script this whole video thing. I've never done videos before. This is my first time. And keep in mind, I'm saying this all live in my first video. And I said, guys, because I'm so scared of videos, that means I just have to do them. I want to get out of my comfort zone, and I would love it if you would just come on this journey with me and hold me accountable. I'm going to be shooting 7 videos this week, so 1 video a day, and I have to make sure I do them. So I'm going on a 7-video challenge. Who's with me? And I got a ton of people that were like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. This is awesome. I hate videos too, you know, that kind of stuff. And people took the challenge with me, and I got a ton of views and comments. That's what people want to see. So make sure that you're just being vulnerable in yourself. You don't have to be super awesome or anything. You just have to be you, and these little things will add credibility to you as well. Videos on stories, so companies, teams, whenever you hear someone talk about their story, you definitely want to make note of that and post it. Post it with a picture of them, post a video, whatever you can. Story, we've all heard it, right? Stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. It's one of the oldest sayings in the book, but it is so, so true. Again, recognition of local teammates, and we're going to go into detail on this in Module 4. One of the most important things to become that leader that we were talking about at the beginning of this training, okay? So here's what you should not be doing. And I would definitely take a screenshot of this, take notes of this, it's important. Don't post. I see this so much. And if you're doing this, it's okay. We all learn from our mistakes. If this annoys you, you're totally, I'm with you because it annoys me. I'm looking for X number of people to join my team. Don't post that, okay? It looks bad. Too many people are doing it. And some, you know, I will tell you, some leaders are training on this, but if you don't have a brand, don't do this. If you have a brand, it may work, okay? It may work, and if people know you and they just want to join whatever you do. But I'm guessing a majority of you haven't gotten to that point yet, so this is just not a good thing. Post your company website constantly. If you're posting your company website constantly, that's a typo there, nobody's going to join you, and we're going to talk about that. Have your company branded everywhere. This is a big one. The last thing we want someone doing when you're doing this strategy is Googling the company, because I know you know that there's a whole bunch of haters out there, no matter what company you're in or what business you do. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or you're a network marketer, right? If people Google your company, there's going to be bad publicity out there most likely. And by the way, my husband Ray did an amazing scam video. You should check it out on YouTube. It's hilarious. I mean, he literally Googled grapes, and grapes came up as a scam. Okay, he Googled almonds, and almonds came up as a scam. It was hilarious. So, you know, we know that if somebody Googles the name of the company, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, especially if you don't prepare them for it beforehand. So people that have banners with their company everywhere, and you have pictures of you with your company name everywhere, it's okay to have it once in a while, but everywhere, that's probably the first thing people are going to do when they talk to you, okay? There is a way to do this in a tasteful way, and that's just to do it every once in a while, maybe like 10 to 20% of the time. But if you have a banner that has like a big company logo in it, I would take that away, especially if you don't have a brand yourself yet, okay? So that's just one thing I wanted to touch on. And we will touch on this in the script, so when somebody asks what's the name of the company, how many of you, when you saw this, you thought, well, what if they ask what the name of the company is? Probably a lot of you, right? If they ask that, just tell them the name of the product. That's what I usually do. And you can also say, well, listen, we're going to discuss all that on coffee. I'm running out the door, but we're going to discuss all that over coffee. And I'm going to give you these scripts here in a second, but just in case you're wondering that, we are going to cover that. So now you are ready and armed to start prospecting. Pretty cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your profile on Facebook. You're going to go to your profile page, and you're going to go to the Friends button. And you're going to click that button. And then this is going to come up. This is what's going to show on your screen. And then you're going to click the Find Friends button. And this is what comes up right here. You're going to see a bunch of people on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see a bunch of different categories and things that you can search for. It's pretty darn neat. So you can literally go through here on the right-hand side and pick out different cities you want to find people in, different colleges, different employers. It's really, really neat. I mean, you can go through here and basically pick out that person that you wrote down earlier in the training. You can pick that person out to a T and start messaging them. So the first thing I want to point your attention to is, see how that says hometown? That is not the button we're going to click, because that's where, unless your hometown is the same as your current city, and that's great. But usually hometown will have a different city of where you're from versus where you live now. We want to focus on where you live now. So you're going to click the button under current city, whatever that is for you, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, Chicago, Illinois. For me, it's Naples, Florida. You're going to click that current city, and then what's going to happen is on the left-hand side, a bunch of people from your city that are mutual friends is going to come up. Now, pay close attention here. All of these say mutual friends at the top. Look how many mutual friends that we have. So what does this mean? This means that I can message this person and all of her mutual friends without getting in trouble. All of our mutual friends without getting in trouble with Facebook. So if you do this and you click on your hometown, by the way, you're going to have a ton of people come up because it's a small world, right? That are all mutual friends because you live in the same city. And you're going to be able to not only prospect them, but all of the people that they are mutual friends with as well. So it's pretty neat. Facebook allows you to prospect friends of friends. And again, we're going to talk about that later. Another thing that comes in really handy is this mutual friend button. This button down here, for example, one of my best friends in the world, Lisa Stevens, she comes up at the top, obviously, because we're good friends. And let's say if you click this button, what it's going to do is it's going to pull up all the mutual friends that I have with Lisa Stevens. So right now, if I click Naples, Florida, the second arrow there, Naples, Florida, and then I click Lisa Stevens, what it's going to do is it's going to pull up all of our mutual friends that live in Naples, Florida, between me and Lisa Stevens. Now, what's cool about this and how you can really use this to your advantage is if you know somebody that is super connected or a big professional, there's a couple different angles you can take here. And I would definitely pay attention here, guys, because this is something that has really boosted some momentum. You can find someone that's a professional that you know has some great friends, reach out to their friends and start to get some interest. So let's say I know a huge real estate broker, okay, and that broker's name is Dan. And I click that I want to, and you can search for whoever you want down here. It doesn't have to be these three that Facebook pulls up, okay? Let's say I want to find all the mutual friends that me and Dan have because he's super connected. People look up to him. He's a multi-millionaire, and I want to find them. So I find some of Dan's friends, and let's just say Dan's friend is Sheena, okay? So I'm going to reach out to Sheena, and Sheena's really interested, okay? And then I go meet with Sheena, and I find out that Sheena wants to join. And we're going to talk about how to go through this entire process through this course, okay? And then Sheena decides, I get her application. Well, guess who I can go back to? I can go back to Dan, and I can say, hey, Dan, I don't know, I found this lady through your friends list, by the way, and I have her application here. She's really excited about joining. I would love to meet with you and just talk to you about the project that we're working on. Sheena's already 100% on board. right? So this is a way for you not only to tap into your local area, but tap into some really big people. And as well, of course, the obvious one is these big professionals. They know a lot of other big professionals as well. So that's a great way to find some really, really good people. So basically what you're going to do here is just come on this left-hand side, find someone cool, and send them a message. Now, here is how you get past Facebook's rules. Friends of friends, we covered that. That one right there, I just showed you guys how to have an endless amount of prospects, an endless amount, no matter what you do. I mean, it'd be very, very hard unless you have like 2 Facebook friends. It'd be very hard to run out of people this way. But let me just give you a few more. You can message fan pages all day long. So Facebook doesn't mind if you do that. Mobile messenger app. Now, this is a big loophole. Facebook hasn't figured it out yet. I don't know if they will. But when you get the messenger app on your phone, what this allows you to do is just have conversations with your Facebook friends. It pops right up in your Facebook app, and you just download it, and you can go back and forth and have just a chat, a regular conversation. You can reach out to as many people as you want through this app, and you will not get banned, okay? Now, this is a loophole. I'm not saying that this is going to last forever, but it's something that is pretty cool that we can start implementing right now, okay? Your own friends, of course, seems obvious, but you can reach out to your own friends, all their mutual friends. So it becomes an endless cycle, guys. It's really, people ask me this question all the time. How do I get past Facebook's rules? What do I do there? And it's really, really simple. It's not hard at all. If you do things in the right way and you're not spamming, you're going to be just fine, okay? So you look for those people. And this may be a question running through your mind. Who do I reach out to? What makes a qualified prospect? And this is just a checklist I came out with. They're usually smiling in their profile picture. I believe that I've had such major success on social media with this method, and you've heard me say this before, because I have got it down to a science of who are good people to reach out to. I've perfected it. I can usually tell by looking at someone's profile and their pictures and things whether they're going to be awesome or not. Now, of course, it's not 100% foolproof, okay? There are definitely people that they're way different than how they are on social media than they are in person. So, that's definitely a loophole there, and it's not always the case that this works, but I really believe that I found just a really good strategy for finding leadership material. That doesn't mean that they're going to go out and put a million people in the business, but what it does mean is they have the potential to, and they're always open, or at least a little bit open. I love using this strategy for the younger generation. And that's just one qualification that I've started using, because there's a lot of college kids, there's a lot of people in their early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, even early 30s that have they're really smart, really sharp, they have a lot of experience, they have a lot of drive, but they just can't find jobs, or they can't find something that really satisfies all their needs, where, they're making enough money, they're paying off their student loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when I talk to the younger generation, they seem to be really, really open. Also, professionals seem to be really, really open. And I find that the more money or the more professional someone is, it seems to be the more open they are. Not always the case, again, but a lot of times. Do they have a lot of pictures with friends? So do they know a lot of people? If I see someone that really, maybe they have some pictures with their family, which is cool, but they don't have any pictures with anyone else, then I'm a little weary of reaching out to them. Now, that doesn't mean I won't, but I may not spend as much time on them as I would have with someone that, I see is always, at events and hanging out with people and just knows a lot of people. I'm sure that makes sense to you. Are they positive or negative? I say this every time on the training, because they're like, oh, yeah, I got that, Jess. But every single time, people will reach out to me and say, hey, this guy says it's a scam and that I'm a terrible person and that I should never have walked this earth and that I'm a menace to society. What should I say? And my answer to that is always, well, he's clearly negative or she's clearly negative. So there's over 1 billion people on social media. I would say next and go for the low-hanging fruit. And that's one thing you'll get out of this training is that we are totally going for the low-hanging fruit. There's too many awesome people out there that get it, that are looking for something different to try and convince bunches of people. And that's a big waste of time. Are they a part of any clubs or groups in your area? That's a big deal too. Do you see Chamber of Commerce pictures? Do you see pictures of them at local real estate meetings or whatever, different meetup groups, yoga, whatever that is? If they're out and about, chances are they know a lot of people. So that would make them a good leader, don't you think? And again, we covered this. Sorry, I just need a drink of water there. We covered this. Do they seem somewhat professional? Again, very important. So I have a little exercise for you, and I thought this would be fun. Maybe obvious to you, may not be, but think for a second, which one would you reach out to? Which person would you decide to reach out to? This person or this person? Which one would you reach out to if you saw their profile picture and you only saw their profile picture? Okay, for me, I would reach out to this girl. And the reason is because she's smiling. She looks, professional. I looked at her profile. She's got a lot of friends. This girl right here, I'm sure she's a nice girl, but, it's not the most professional picture. And I'm sure you guys understand that. And I'm really looking for people that maybe have a little more business sense in that way. So just these are the kind of distinctions that you want to make. She's definitely doesn't seem like a bad person, but when I did look at their profiles, both of their profiles. And when I looked at the first girl's profile, she had a lot of pictures with her boyfriend. That was pretty much it. Her, doing very, very little. There was some negative stuff on her profile. So, I'm usually right when I just look at, the profile picture. Again, not 100% of the time. So don't, quote me on this and say, well, you said, and this person turned out to be the top rank in our company. It's not foolproof, but it usually definitely works. While the second girl had a lot of positive stuff, a lot of friends, a ton of friends. Obviously, she's a beautiful girl. I actually know this girl, and we're acquaintances. I don't know her real well. But it was just interesting to see the difference there, and they both came up at the top. So here's another one. Which one would you reach out to? This girl or these guys? And the guy whose profile it is the guy on the right there. So which one do you think that you would want to talk to? Well, for me, it would be this girl right here, the first girl. And again, I just kind of went off the cuff, and like I said, I perfected this to where I can usually just tell by some facial expressions and what people are doing, whether they be positive or negative or what. And lo and behold, when I looked at both their profiles, this first girl was definitely someone that I could see working with. And some people might say, well, she's got a glass of the wine in the picture. I thought you said stay away from those people with alcohol everywhere. Yeah, I mean, if they have it all over the place and all they do is party, they may not be that serious about making money and starting a business. But she seems very classy. I love her smile. She's holding a glass of wine, it's just a glass of wine. She doesn't have that everywhere on her profile. And when I did look at it, she knew a lot of people, love her outfit. It was awesome. Now, I'm not saying that you want to be superficial and judge people by their clothes. So please don't misunderstand me or judge people by their looks or whatever. I'm just trying to judge by attitude here. That's really what I'm looking for is attitude and whether I think somebody is open. This guy on the right, probably a great guy, but just not my target market. Okay, so, and he's not smiling, and I don't know. I just really like, because I'm kind of bubbly, so I really like working with bubbly people, or at least people that are excited about life. And he didn't really seem that excited about life. So just some food for thought there, okay? So I hope that helps. So what you're going to do is you're going to find that person, and you're going to send them a personal message. Click on their profile, click on their picture, and this is, you may want to take a screenshot of this. It's also in your conversation template, your zero rejection conversation template. You have it in there, which is another bonus that you got. I trained this to a lot of our mastermind members and people that are clients of ours, and they loved it. And so this is something where, one of our mastermind members has already started recruiting people from it, building a team, and it's really exciting. I mean, this is all they do now. So, hi, first name, your status update came up in my newsfeed, so I checked out your profile. We're both from Naples. Have we met before? Love your profile pic. So funny. So they have all these people up there in their profile banner. It's pretty cute. Anyways, I thought I'd go out on a limb and reach out to you because I'm an executive, professional, whatever language you like best. I'm an executive recruiter for a whatever company, a health and wellness company, a travel company, a technology company, headquartered out of Texas, wherever your company is headquartered out of. And we're expanding in the area. You seem really sharp. Do you have any openness to making extra money? So this is the exact message that I send to a lot of different people in my area. Now, what changes here, let me know. And I'm going to give you the formula for this first message. This works like crazy. It works like crazy. I have a formula I'll give you on the next slide. But here's what changes is I want to pay them a compliment, and that's always going to change based on the person. Okay, so that's what's really personal. I'm going to talk about I'm going to pay them a compliment down here. You seem really sharp. I'm going to ask them a question. This compliment down here and up here always changes based on the person. You seem like you know a lot of people. Whatever compliment that may be, you want to make it personal there. So here's an example of a message that I sent to a lady, and this is just an example of response that I got. Same exact format, right? And this is what I do. Very, very simple yet powerful and effective. Hey, Erica, I saw your status update come up in my newsfeed and noticed you lived in Naples. I checked out your profile and wanted to reach out. Have we met before? You look familiar. Anyways, I'm an executive recruiter for a travel company headquartered out of Texas, and we're expanding in the area. You seem very sharp, and I thought I'd go out on a limb and message you to see if you have any interest in making some extra money. Let me know. And then Erica said, hi, Jessica. No, I don't think we've met. I live in Fort Lauderdale, but I'm interested in making extra money. Would that be an issue? So she's qualifying herself for me. She's asking, is that okay that I'm in a different city? I would love to know more about it. That is a great prospect right there. So again, take a screenshot of this, do whatever you can. But that is a great way to reach out to someone. And by the way, I personally, I put this in here for your benefit. I do not want to spread this is a safe space. Any training that we do is a safe space. And the people that, when we connect as a community, just keep in mind that a lot of people are happy with their companies. So don't go out there and try and recruit them or whatever. The only reason I mention this is for your benefit. That is not cool if you're going out and trying to ravage downlines or recruit people from other companies or whatever. Go after, some people that, especially in this group, go after some people locally that maybe are new in network marketing or whatever. It's different when they come to you and, they've been in like a long time ago or whatever. But I always tell people this because just recently, like about a month ago, we had some people that were in one of our groups for one of our trainings, and they were trying to recruit a bunch of people in that group. And that's just not cool. So I wanted to mention that. And this will work for literally anybody that you feel that you qualify, first of all, of what I've mentioned before, that you qualify. And if you do it in the right way, like we just talked about. So here's the right way. Hi, first name. Okay, I say this in every training I do. You want to put their first name in the first message because that's what they see. Saw your status update come up in my newsfeed. And number 3, give them a compliment of some kind. I love your profile picture. Oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute. Your son is so cute. You have a beautiful family, whatever that may be, okay? Question, like what I put in there is, have we met before, right? Because we're all local. Then you want to ask them, or then you want to give them the I'm an executive recruiter line. So I'm an executive recruiter for a technology company headquartered out of Dallas. And I was just looking at your stuff. You seem very sharp. You seem like you know a lot of people. I love your professionalism and the way, I love your smile. You seem really cool. Whatever you want to say here as a compliment. And then ask them another question. Just going out on a limb here and seeing if you have any openness to making some extra money, right? Very simple yet effective. Okay, so take a screenshot of this and you can use this in your local area. So when they respond, set the appointment. And we're going to talk a lot about this in Module 2, but the goal is to get them face-to-face, not to send them to a video. Okay, when it comes to local prospecting, and some of you just went, I don't know if I can, meet someone face-to-face and recruit them. By the time you're done with this training, you will be a master at it. And it's very simple, especially if you're leveraging the tools. Now, if you have to get them in front of a video because they're not responding or you just can't coordinate times, then fine. But I really, really encourage you to get them in front of you face-to-face. So here's some scripts you can use. Great. Any time this week to meet for coffee? Awesome. Are you around Friday at noon? Okay, so locking down a specific time is also very good. Again, Module 2, we're going to go into setting the appointment and how to structure the meeting. But this is as simple as it gets. I want to get you in front of them so that you actually know, so they actually know that you're real. And also, when somebody's in front of you, you have a higher closing rate. And I think we all know that. Watch Terry Grimeau's interview bonus. You got a bonus, which was an interview I did with Terry on how to go full-time using this strategy, because he has taken my trainings and just run with them, and he is now full-time. He's had 5-figure days, which is just incredible. It's amazing. So go through that bonus, because in there he walks through how he sets the appointment, and it's really, really powerful. And again, in Module 2, I'm going to go into this in detail, but he went through my training. He went through this training you're going through, and it was just incredible how fast he takes action, which I encourage you to do, is not only just learn from this, but we have some assignments for you that will encourage you to take action. And he's already recruiting people like crazy. So that, I think, will really help you to go to the next step before we get into Module 2. Twitter, it works very similarly. And people had a lot of questions on Twitter, so I wanted to throw this in there. All you have to do is log into your Twitter account, go click on the Discover, okay, and type in your hometown. And what's going to happen, or where you live, your city. And what's going to happen is a bunch of status updates on Twitter are going to come up, a bunch of tweets of people talking about Naples or wherever you're from. Now, there's no real way that I know of to search for geographically for people in your area through Twitter itself, unless you have some software and stuff. So, but this is a great way, an easy way to do it. And then you can just find someone. This is a girl that I actually found on Twitter and talked to. And all I did was hit the reply button and sent the same exact message that I'm telling you to send through Facebook. But here's the cool thing about it. Is you can send multiple messages. You don't just have to send one. So people ask me, well, how do you stay within the 140 character, guideline for Twitter? And the answer is sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I don't, I just add another message. I just reply again, adding to the previous message that I already responded to. And it doesn't confuse people. People get it. They can see it right there. It's all strung together. Not a big deal, okay? So the goal here is really to get them over to another platform. And what's funny about this girl is I talked to her, and then literally a couple days later, I went to an event in our area, and I saw her there. See, that's the power. And we started talking, exchanged numbers, and we're going to meet. See, that's the power of local prospecting right there, is that when you are reaching out to people, you can not only, talk to them on the phone or talk to them online, but you can be with them face to face, and it just feels more fulfilling, and it creates this community, and it makes it much easier to honestly bring them into the business. It's pretty cool. So she's really sharp, and I'm excited about that. So here's some things to remember. go through, like I mentioned before, your 12 conversation reviews bonus. In this one of the conversations I talk about is about Twitter, and that comes from our amazing client, Michael. He's a platinum client with us, and he decided to start doing the strategy, and he submitted one of our conversations for review, one of his conversations, and that was so sweet of him. I went through that, and I break down how he transferred someone from Twitter to Facebook. You can do the same thing to the phone. So on here, one of the big questions I get is, okay, how do I get them from Twitter to the phone or to my Facebook page so we can start longer conversations and so forth and get to know each other on a deeper level? It answers this in this bonus, so I would definitely take the time to go through that. So remember, you're searching for a status update on Twitter versus like a group or page. So just keep that in mind. When you search on Twitter, it's going to bring up all the status updates versus like when you search on Facebook, you might get a bunch of pages that come up or a bunch of groups. It's different. So that means on Twitter, you can actually get a little more in depth here, and you can type in exactly what you want someone to be saying on their profile. So if you type in, if you search work from home, then what's going to come up is a bunch of status updates of people talking about working from home. Now, some of them might be pitching, but a lot of them are saying, man, I wish I could work from home. Ding, 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 ding. That is a good prospect. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind for Twitter. Keep it brief, keep it short, and then try and get them to another platform. Go for the low-hanging fruit. And that really applies to anything that you do. But I want to keep hammering this message because there's so many people that get it. So if you have somebody that's talking about, working from home or wanting to spend more time with their kids or, wanting to take more vacations, then go for that fruit. Go for that low-hanging fruit. Don't bother trying to convert the person that's arguing about how, network marketing is a scam or how, the government is a big conspiracy theory or whatever. Those people, I'm sure they're great people, but that's not who you want in your business. So don't make these mistakes. Don't focus on the negative. Like I said, you will get some people that don't answer you or that just plain are nasty to you. And that is okay. So many people focus on the negative versus the positive. You need to focus on the people that are doing awesome and responding to you positively. And most people with this strategy will respond at least positively. Try not to answer their questions. And this goes back to Terry's interview. He talks about this, and it's brilliant the way that he describes it. But when you're talking with someone back and forth, if they do have questions or whatever, just try and get them to meet with you. So say, that's great, we'll talk about that on Friday. Okay? You don't have to answer each and every person's question. We're taught from the age of, 5 that if somebody asks you a question, you have to answer it, right? Well, that is actually not the case. Most of the time, people forget their questions anyway. So just try and divert it and say, you know what, we'll talk about that on Friday. Never send the video unless you can't coordinate schedules. I, again, really, really love to meet with someone using this strategy. And in module number 2, we're going to talk in depth about how to set this up so that you don't have to be the master presenter. You can be if you want to, but how to set this up so it's totally stress-free. It's just like having coffee with a friend and you're just collecting a decision, right? So I would definitely try and meet with them first. And never tell them the name of the company. I mentioned this. If they ask, you can give them the name of the product and say, we'll go over it on Monday at 4. Okay? And that usually makes people feel better. Okay? Usually takes away that objection right away. Because again, you do not want them to Google it. So here is an assignment for you. I hope this helped with you on your journey and kickstart your journey towards building a local team. I know some of you will absolutely run with this, and I'm excited to see that happen. Make sure that you complete this before our next webinar. Okay, and you have the schedule of webinars, at least you should, in your email. If for some reason you can't, and it's in your customer hub, I'm sorry, the schedule for emails is in your customer hub, I believe. If you can't access those or you're not sure where they are, reach out to support@rayhigdon.com. Again, that's support@rayhigdon.com, and they'll make sure to get you in there right away. But make sure you check your email, your spam folder, and your customer hub before you do that. So here is your assignment. again, complete before our next webinar. Go through the Terry interview and the 12 conversations review. I told you why. Reach out to at least 10 local people per day using the local prospecting formula. Okay, 10 people a day minimum. Very simple to do. It should take you less than 20 minutes. So 2 minutes per person is plenty. Okay, less than 20 minutes. Don't overcomplicate this. Do exactly what I just said. And then I would like for you to schedule at least, and if you're talking to 10 people per day, this should be pretty simple. Get 2 appointments, one-on-one local appointments for coffee, for lunch, whatever, for next week with these prospects. And this is before the next webinar. For those of you that email me that you did this homework, I'm going to select a few of you to feature on our next webinar. So when you get these appointments and you go through this, email me. My email is right there below, jpb995@msn.com. I'm going to review every email that's sent to me as long as you completed this homework. And I'm going to pick a few of you to bring out our next webinar, which will be exciting, and also talk about your success and what you've done here. So very excited for that. I hope you enjoyed Module 1. I am so pumped for Module 2 because in Module 2, we are going to cover, like I said, how to go through the setting up the appointment process and getting in front of someone and walking you through that whole thing step by step so you do not feel uncomfortable. And I know that there are people on here that are going to feel so awesome when they get out of their comfort zone and do this first appointment. You are going to be blown away at the results that you can create with that. So really looking forward to that. I will see you. And again, guys, you can send the video if you can't nail down a time. Why not? And even getting on the phone. It's better than not sending anything if they have interest. But I would definitely encourage you to push through that comfort zone. And we will talk about that in Module 2. So love you guys so much. I'm so excited for this and can't wait to see what you create. I will see you in Module 2. Have a great week.